How many people are taking AP Physics next year? We have a few. All right. How about AP Bio? Oh, a couple more. AP Chem? Oh, yeah. Okay, so welcome again. My name is Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Chang's going to be here. She's a math teacher, an AP Calc teacher, and things over at Shepherd High School. And then Mr. Sparenberg's going to be coming in. He's from Shepherd as well, and he does AP Physics there too. So there'll be lots of people here to help you out. The goal for today is I sat there and I thought to myself, with only 40 minutes of having you, what can I find that's essential between both math and science? And I think one of the biggest crossovers that we see has to do with graphing. And if you walk out of here today with a better concept of what we're doing with graphing, I think it's going to be really helpful to you next year in any of the AP math or science classes that you might be taking. So, since I'm an AP Physics teacher, many of my examples will be related to AP Physics. But again, what we're going to be doing today will apply to, again, any basic types of graphing from math, AP Chem, AP Bio, all of them across the board. All right? So the first thing we're going to do here is our main focus to start off with will be the slope-intercept form. So refresh my memory. What's the slope-intercept form?
Y equals mx plus b.
There we go. Y equals mx plus b. Where m represents the slope. Okay, so one of the things here is I think that's something that's slightly different but basically the same in math and science. When we learn about slope in math class, it's our rise over a run, right? Well, in physics, we're lazy, and we don't like to call it rise over run. Instead, we like to use this formula, and we say that it's equal to delta y over delta x. And you say, delta, what's delta? Well, delta is this triangle. Okay, this triangle has a meaning. It means the change in. So delta y means your change in your y value divided by your change in your x value. So that's what that delta means. Again, we're lazy, so we like to use these symbols. You see symbols come up a lot, especially in physics. Okay, but this will happen across the board. For those of you that are maybe going to learn about flow rates or reaction rates, you might see it in chemistry. You'll see it in biology. And in those of you that are thinking about taking calculus, you'll see this all the time. Okay, so this delta means your change in. And what that means, what that corresponds to, kind of generally in math, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Does that look a little bit more familiar to you? Okay, they're exactly the same thing, right? Because that's your change in y over your change in x. Does that make sense? Okay, so when we're going to be talking about this slope is really, really important. We're going to talk about what slope means. And in math class, you basically learn how to do it. And then what you'll see in science class is how it applies and what that variable can really mean to you. The next we have is y equals mx plus b. b equals? Beginning? Y-intercept. Okay, so the beginning is not necessarily incorrect. What we'll say for that is when we talk about in physics, like your y-intercept for a position graph would be your starting position. Okay, so wherever you started from. So b here is going to be our y-intercept. So wherever it crosses the y-axis. So what I'd like for you to do is take out those highlighters. I gave you these grids for graphing, but I don't know if that's really useful. So what we're going to do is we're going to make Cartesian coordinate planes. So what I'd like for you to do on these graphs is use those highlighters and let's draw in our four quadrants by drawing in our y-axis and our x-axis. If you have a straight edge, you have your ID, or you have your post-it notes, or you have something like that, the straight edge will probably come in handy for this. Yep, and you can go ahead and do it for all of them. So we're going to do all these. Another thing that I want to point out too is I'm going to go through, I'm going to explain this in detail, but we have all different levels here. We have everybody from sophomore through senior. Hopefully this is a good refresher for all levels, but just understand that we're going to be working at different paces. And if you feel like you've got this down, don't stop after you do one. Continue through and try to get as much practice in as you possibly can. Now I have 2 points. With 2 points I can make a line. And that's what the graph looks like for this one. Again, depending on what grade you're in, what math level you're you're at, this can be really easy or it can be a little bit more challenging. Mr. Sparenberg, Mrs. Chang, and I are going to be around. We want you to continue working through, trying to get as much of this done as you can. Okay, and we'll be around to help you out if you need a little help. Don't be afraid to raise your hand or to ask for help or to work with the people at your table. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, continue through. Some of us are finishing faster than others. Continue through. The whole back of that second page would be great if you could get it done. Okay. Okay, so continue on to get a little bit more challenging as we go through. So try to work on some of these questions as you go through. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it does get a little harder as we go through, so if you finish early, just continue on to that second page. You ladies want to check your front page and see how good. So there's nothing in front of the x.
So now you have y negative 3x plus 2. Yeah, write it wherever you want to.
You would put that first, but is there what you need to come in that and see which one you make? And realize that or then
Well, for you, just find the slope.
These 5 lines.
why? And if you look and see, I think it's pretty easy to see that CLB run parallel to each other.
Okay, then great.
So that's a really good way for us to know that the slopes are the same. These two are never going to cross. They're going to go like that forever. Okay. Another thing that I saw some people get kind of tripped up on is where it was starting. So they're figuring out the lines and they have different y-intercepts. But that's not what the question asks us about. The question asks us about the slopes. That's all we care about is the slope.